Echo here. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Direwolf 21.7.10 final episode 50. We are on a new version. We're on version 1.0.4. So the world download that will come with this episode, you will not have to do any messing around with. You just be able to download the normal Direwolf 20 client, and that will run my world fan. Since 1.0.3, I've been running on. I had to update a couple of mods last time the pack updated, because I had a different chisel version and different pneumatic craft due to stuff that was making my world crash and some blocks that was wrong. Anyway, I've done the towers. What do you reckon? I've kind of finished. Well, I've kind of finished. This is pretty big. I've learnt a lot from this build. Biggest build I've done, and I've learnt quite a bit. I'm just gonna have a little fly around here. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of an update on what I've been doing, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a tour of the factory. So this episode, I'm not going to be actually building anything, I'm going to be talking and looking around the factory. Unfortunately, it's not all loaded in. Come on, loading ground. My car park over here and stuff. So it's not finished. Well, I don't think I could make it so it's never finished, you know. It's one of them things that I could just keep working on and never actually get it finished. But it's finished enough for me, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I've just done the towers. It's weird, they look different. Whenever I look at them, they look like they're not lined up, but they are actually lined up. So the 4 towers up there. What I've made them out of is loading tunnel. What I've made them out of is bleached bone brick from Railcraft. So I've not done everything. I've not done the torches. I've not done this door like I said I would. But I'm just going to leave it like it is, because I think it's time to move on to a new pack and something new. I have not finished putting the glass in there. What do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12 more bits of glass. I shall sort that out in just a moment. I want to talk about the cobble gen in a minute as well when I go down there. I just want to do a little fly around of the outside of the factory before we head in. So yeah, I'll come and show you the towers really quick. I went with this in the end. I tried a few different blocks. I also tried taping it in. The rail towers on Battersea Power Plant, they taper in a little bit. But using a taper, bringing it in a block, it just looks weird. It actually looks like it tapers because of perspective, I guess. So I kind of get a fake tapered look. I put a door in the back of each one, just so I can actually go inside without having to go right to the top. Look pretty cool from down here. Up on the top of the towers there. So as far as I know, this is the only brick that's visible in the inside of the factory in the top of the towers. All the other brick is hidden by walls, I think, on the internal stuff. Anyway, so I'm gonna do, before I do the tour, I'm gonna show you what I've done since last episode. I've kind of given up on the cobble gen. I did a little bit of Foundcraft research actually, trying to get ethereal bloom, but I'm not sure what unlocks it, and I can't bother to do all the research just to get the ethereal bloom. But I was going to get that just to clear that grass up. That was because I had a tainted node here for a few seconds. I had a sinister node that I tried teleporting here to see if it worked. So it made the grass tainted, eerie. So this is an eerie biome, this little bit here. If I turn F1 back on and press F3, you'll see we are in a eerie. So that's why that looks like that. So yeah, I'll do a full tour in a minute. First of all though, let's just run in here and have an update on this. So I pulled everything out. I've not lit this room up, have I? I pulled everything out and I actually sorted the TPS out quite a bit. What I'm going to do for a second is, let me get a wrench, and I'm just going to wrench that. I'm going to wrench this, and for a second, I'm just going to disconnect the trigger on them two and see what our TPS goes to. So I've got just 2 6 factory managers here. Let's have a look at our TPS. So you see there, our TPS is excellent. It's down at 14.12 milliseconds per tick, which is well within the limits. If I turn these 2 back on, you will see if doing one at a time. In fact, I should have maybe not turned that on first. Let's have a look what that does. Does that do anything? No, it's still at 15. And then if I turn one of these on, so we've gone up to 22 there. It's on its way up. 32. Possibly even out of 32. At a second one, we are going up 41. So as you can see, these 46 there, we are running just under the 50 millisecond per tick just with 2 of them. So I can't have any more. I can't do it. The actual cobble gen itself is amazing. That, as you saw, when I didn't have them running, this was running at 14 TPS with all the, well, not all these. There's a potential, I think 110 of these 9 block setups here, and I think there's maybe 22 possibly that I've actually got all the upgrades in. And as you can see, my deep storage unit here is full with 2.14 billion cobble in there. I'm going to take that one off. I just want to show you. That's actually chucking stuff straight into the trash can at the minute. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put this empty one on it just to show you the kind of speed that we are getting cobble into this. So that's 2 billions filled up since I did the last video, which was, I believe, day before yesterday. So that's the speed we're getting cobble off, about maybe an eighth of the capacity of this. So there we go, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. So that, if I'd have done all of it, if I carried on making the weld gen, the weld interaction upgrades, we could have had a massive amount of cobble. The problem is you can't turn it into, I can't find any way to turn it into compressed cobble quick enough. So what we've got going in here is, this is just, each one of these takes an input, crafts it into the next compressed, outputs it back into the same chest there, so you can see it's just processed it all into that chest. And we may actually have an octuple in here. Have we not? No, we've got 9 septuple. That's weird. That one stopped on 9 septuple as well earlier. It's got 11 in there. That should be crafting into octuple because it's in there. It's just not doing it. It seems to craft all the way up to septuple and stop, which is weird. Anyway, so that's how I'm leaving that. We could get a massive amount of octuple. It's just I can't find any way of making the actual crafting of the compressed stuff keep up with the potential of the cobble gen. I could scale this all back, but the whole point was to see if we could actually get an octuple cobble every minute or so. And possibly, if it was all done, we probably would be able to get an octuple cobble. The amount enough cobble for an octuple cobble every minute, so we just can't process it into the compressed stuff. There's a couple of other things I tried. I did the extra utilities crafting. That was worse in the Steve's Factory Manager. I could use the crafters from Ender.io or the crafters from Thermal Expansion, but I think it's going to need like 1 on each of these, and I think that's just going to be as bad, so I don't really want to bother trying. So I'm going to leave the cobble gen there. Failed experiment. I wanted to see if we could get an octuple cobble every few minutes, and we can get the cobble, we just can't craft it. So yeah, I'll have to leave that as it is. So now we'll do a bit of a factory tour. I have done a couple of other little things actually since the last episode, so I'll cover them really quick. I needed clay for the towers. If we look in here, we have got bleached, I can't say it, can I? Bleached bone brick is crafted using fitted bleached bone stone, which is crafted using bleached bone block, which is smelted bleached clay, which is free bone meal and a clay. So I needed some clay. I had like 13,000 bones, so bones were fine. I needed some clay. I'm going to bin that stuff. Don't matter what, look at that, 80k Yellorium, ridiculous. So I needed some clay. Earlier on in the series, I did have a little automatic setup with Britannia to get clay, so I've kind of reinstated that. Early in the series, though, I had it so it was crafting hardened clay and bricks as well, but the AE can handle that now. So I've just got a little setup here using mana, which is getting created from this floating Thermalily with a blood magic Serenade of the Nether there, which is what my other Britannia thing. I'll cover this in a little tour again in a minute, but what I've got here is when it's running off a level limiter, I've just got it set on 32,000 clay. So this is still producing. So I just missed it there. So what's happening is this gets sand in here. It places the sand on the floor. Any sand near the floating clay conia here gets turned into clay. So I use a little bit of mana, it turns sand into clay. Every time a sand gets placed here, it gets turned into clay. The vacuum chest sucks it up, and then we are importing into the AE system from the vacuum chest there. So a nice little closed system. Using a level limiter on the amount of clay in the system, so it'll stop when we get a full 4K cell of clay in there. Now how much clay have we got? I can not get stuck on this spark. We have got 15K we're up to. So that's how I got the clay for the towers. Right. I also, while I was doing it, I just added the automated living wood and living stone to the system. So they've got a storage bus on the barrel there that's got the stone in, and an export bus on the barrel that's got the smooth stone and the spruce wood. So that's given us just a full barrel's worth of living stone and living rock in the system there. So 4096, and the wood's not quite full. Cool. Right, I'll do a tour then, starting at the front of the factory. I've learnt a lot doing this. As I said at the start of the episode, this is the biggest build I've ever done. It's 10 by 10 chunks. I'll turn the map on. It's a 10 by 10 chunk build. If you watched my Resident Rise 2 series, my Woolerton Manor, Wayne Manor, that was 5 by 5 chunks, so I've kind of doubled that, and that was the biggest build I'd done then, so I've kind of doubled the size of this. I don't know if I'll do a build this big again. I think I will, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. One of the mistakes that I did was I have had to rebuild things a few times. What I should have done is I should have got one tower finished exactly as I wanted it, and then use a Buildcraft builder to copy it, with the internals and all, rather than building them at the same time. I should have done one of the wings before I did the second wing, and that as well. So I have learnt a lot. In the future I shall be building stuff a little bit different. On the outside here, I've used a picture. If you do a Google search on Battersea Power Plant, you will get many pictures that look a little bit like this. And I've used one of them pictures just in paint, just as my background, just to work off. I'm not doing it too accurate. I've just kind of gauged it by eye and tried to make it look pretty much like Battersea Power Plant is. If you don't know what Battersea Power Plant is, it was a coal-fired power plant that's in London that used to supply London with a lot of power. It's been derelict for a lot of years, and then recently, last few years, it's currently getting renovated into apartments, and I think there's still something like £60 million worth of apartments in the first day that was for sale, something crazy. So very sought after real estate now. But it's been derelict for years. A lot of films you see that are filmed in London with a big derelict factory, it's normally, a lot of it is Battersea Power Plant. They use it for filming a lot. So yeah, right. So we'll start a little entrance hall on each side with some nice paintings. There's grandfather clock there that we had just charming a second ago. I wanted a kind of nice tidy way in. This feels like the front to me. It's always felt like the front, but really the other side would probably be the front. In real life, what we've got down the side of here is a lot of train tracks that come right on the back. Of course, because it was a coal-fired power plant, it used to get all the coal coming in by rail, so it's a massive train station and stuff on the back. Well, on the front. This side of it is on the River Thames, and then there's a railway bridge that goes across to the other side of the Thames there, and the Thames comes down here and then curls around up there and heads off up towards London Eye and stuff. But yeah, so this really, I suppose, is the front. The side that I did a little bit of tarmac stuff. I like that. I like the way that works. A bit of smooth black stone makes it look like it fades away into the distance because it's very dark, but it's just a wall of smooth black stone there. Anyway, I kind of like that as well. Tearing that kind of smooths it out a bit. So a little car park, just using. I wanted the outside looking kind of realistic. One thing I'm going to try and do with future builds is go more realistic than I have before. I think it's something that Poppycox has inspired me to do from seeing his builds on the Resident Rise server I play with him, that Poppy builds very realistic. He tries to think what it would be like in reality, and it works very well in Minecraft. I think it makes builds look more realistic. It's like toilets and stuff, and trying to make things look right structurally, so the wood wouldn't just fall down. Anyway, so we'll start with this building then. yeah, we'll start with this. So this is unfinished. This was kind of one of the last bits I did. This is where a lot of my storage for my AE system is up here. So you've probably seen this. We've got an empty floor here that's had nothing done with it. And then on this next floor is the AE crafting CPUs. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've each got 164K crafting storage and a lot of core processors and a crafting monitor there. As you can see, that's crafting some dark steel balls because we have got resources coming in all the time from the laser drills. Oops. And then if I go a floor higher, I actually want to walk around the factory rather than fly around it. So you can actually, I've tried to make it so everything's accessible to an extent. You can't get up the towers and stuff. I haven't put no ladders on the outside, but yeah, this is my storage area. If I was doing this again, I'd probably use deep storage units rather than storage cells for each of these. But coal has been a problem. I've had to set up auto crafting on coal blocks. I've got 151,000 coal blocks. 64K cell can only hold 520K, so we are full on coal. As you can see, we've got a lot of resources, 84,000 diamonds. I am running 8 laser drills that we'll get to. But that was this floor. I quite like this floor. A good comment and an idea was I could have set these up like computers, like workstations over the 3 or 4 floors if I had more time. If I was doing it from scratch, I probably would. One thing this build has suffered from is I didn't know AE2 at the start of the build, and I've had to rebuild everything to incorporate AE2 about halfway through the build, which has made things a lot more drawn out and a lot more difficult than it should have been, really. If I'd have started with AE2 in mind at the beginning, things would have been a lot different, so I should have learnt that. I was kind of just dragging my feet with it because it's changed since AE1. So yeah, this is kind of like a bedroom I was starting to build, but I never really did much with it, to be honest. Well, that's my bed and that's my AE chest, which is the one that I carry with me all the time. That has all my stuff in it there. And that's some of the armour I've worn throughout the series. I've got the dark steel stuff that I wore first, and then I went on to, I made this flux stuff, I never really wore it much, and then I got into Britannia, got terror steel stuff there, and then after that I've been wearing blood magic armour. So I've got my blood magic armour on, so I've got a flux sword with that. I've been using flux tools for a lot of saves. I've had a terror chatterer as my pick for quite a while. I've moved it back onto the flux pickaxe for now. But we've got the ender there with the dark steel. We've got a I forgot what it's called. What's this sword called? The Terrorblade, isn't it? Yeah, Terrorblade. No, Terrorblade there and a flux sword. So I was gonna go through all different sets of armour, but I never really got around to any more than that. And it's raining like it always is. Daytime, so I can't sleep. So that's this room. And then I'm actually not going to go through there. There's a lot of Tinker's Constructs, drawbridge doors in between areas. That's got a little bit of Project Red control on them, so you can get, so they open up when you go near them. I'll start in the middle bit here, and then we'll do the wings. So yeah, I want a little entrance area. It's exactly the same either side, apart from one's got blue chairs, one's got red chairs, and one's got an NPC in it, and one hasn't. So I've got a little security area there. If we come into here, you'll see that just filing cabinets and shelves to make it look a bit like a work area. Modular power suit crafting table that I've not used. Computer that I'll probably never use. I just wanted to look like that. In the centre here, this was the first AE system I built. So this is not actually in use anymore. It's powered because I like the way it looks. I called this my ME spider when I built it because it looks kind of like a spider with its 8 legs there. This is all just fake now. It's getting powered just so it stays lit. These are actually not connected. These ME dense cables are not actually connected to this controller because the controller is now underground. It's now down there. We'll get to the basement once we've done all the upstairs. Here's the ME controller that's sending 32 channels to each room in the wings. So we'll get to that. I've just got a little, this was my storage, and I've got a beacon there of course in the middle. That's a full-size beacon. That's the redstone alloy block from Ender.io you can use as beacon bases. So yeah, crafting terminal, pattern terminal and interface terminal, and same on this side, but I've never really used this side much. And then this is where I just sort my cells out. and that's my junk chest where anything else drops into. So this has gone, while it's been working there, it's obviously gone through a chest, because we've got some stuff in there that I can just bin. Have I got a ward yet? Let's have a quick look. I was, earlier on, at the top of the towers, I've got some ineffable glass that I made. I was tempted to go and have a pop. Oh, I didn't have ward. Oh, that's a new one. I was tempted to have a go at doing the extra utilities. I'm just going to bin that stuff. Extra utilities upgrade for to the pseudo invasion sigil that you do in the end. So I was seeing what records I have. I'm missing 1, 2, 3 now. I think you need 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I'm missing 3. So yeah, I might have done that, but I didn't bother in the end. I'll show you why. If we go right to the top of the towers, just so it doesn't rain in the towers. I wanted, oh man, it's taken a long time just to fly up here just to show you this. Probably shouldn't have bothered. But just so it doesn't rain when you're down in the towers, I've just got some ineffable glass on the top here so you can fly through it. But it stops the rain coming in. Because it seemed weird that there was rain inside. So yeah, there's that. So that's pretty much the outside here. That's like the brain of the system. This is where all the storage was until I built the storage room over there. But that's gradually been emptied out. Now it's just got some stuff left in it, like just random ingots that don't have their own cells, and like a lot of blocks and stuff in there. Blocks is probably the busiest one. And then this is where all the resources come in from, either the quarry, which is running in the deep dark, or the laser drills. I should have really set the laser drills to come straight into the A system, but they're going to an ender chest, which is a bit of a cheat. I should have had it going straight into the A system from where they are, but we'll get to that in a minute. Power wise, we'll do next. Each of the 4 towers. So I've got a tower in all 4 corners, yeah? I kind of like the way the towers look from down here as well. Falling through the floor. The floor there is abstruse platforms. This full bit of grass is abstruse platforms from Britannia. So if you just press shift, you drop through it. Or you can fly through it from underneath. So that's both sides of that, is all that stuff. So yeah, each of the towers are exactly the same. Each one holds 2 banks of capacitor banks. Now, if I was doing this again, these would be the upgraded ones, but the upgraded ones went in when I made this. These ones actually on the turbines are the vibrant ones, the upgraded ones. These can hold 25 million each. These are just the normal ones that hold 5 million each. So we've got, I think it's like 60 plus in each bank of these. So we've got 2 in each tower. So we've got 8 of them banks of capacitor banks holding on my power, which gives me a total power, I think, of about 2.5 billion. I have got a power monitor just in here. So, yep, 2.5 billion RF storage. That stays full pretty much all the time. We're using 202,000 RF a tick at the minute. So we're pulling a lot of power. We're using a hell of a lot. Above this, we have got, again, same in all 4. In fact, what I'll do, I'll actually go up the lift to the correct floor. Turbines 2 and 4. So pneumatic craft lifts on my way getting around the base. I say you should be able to get around the base without having to fly. That's one of the things I wanted, and this is set though so that it will go back down after a time period. It's set on a state cell to send itself back down to the floor after a while, but the timing is set for it if you was going to the top, which is why I ain't going down yet. There it goes. So I'll go back down to its base whenever you use it. So this is turbine 2. So these are running. I can make them get a little bit. I can get them up to 28,000 RF a tick each, but they're just running at about 25,000 there. Each 2 turbines running off 1 reactor. So we'll go to the reactor floor next. So this side's exactly the same, as you can see. So the floor's worked out real nice. Like you can actually see the things line up. I'll show you when we get further up top. The things actually line up. So one thing that does fail a bit is I have to lean across there to call that to me if I wanted to lift up here, and then from there reactors will go up again. So here's the actual reactor. The reactor puts out 4,000 millibuckets a tick of steam, which is enough to run both the turbines. Both turbines are exactly the same. This is a very efficient setup. It's probably one of the most efficient reactors you can make. This is information I found on a Google Doc and from stuff on the Feed the Beast forums about all this. So this runs just shy of 4,000 millibuckets a tick. I could make it run a little bit better. I could make it run over 4,000 if I change this to 38 or 42 one way or the other, I can't remember. But they just run all the time, and that is where I'm getting all my power from. It actually works quite nice. You can't really see it, but because it's a closed system, I don't get no extra water needs to go into it. When you set it up, you have to feed water in. So I've got water coming in from. I've filled up the water there. And then once the water's in, you don't actually have to add any more because it keeps going around. So the reactor turns the water to steam, which then powers the turbine, gets turned back to water, and comes back into the reactor to get turned into steam again. So we've got, you can't see it, but the import and export touch each other on top and bottom. So there's no delay, it all just feeds real nice. So there's my towers. And then what I did with the sides is I split them to magic and tech. Ground floor of both sides is the same. The ground floor is the laser drills. So each ground floor has 4 laser drills. I've not tidied that up there. Look at little bits not finished, you see, all over the place. 4 laser drills on each side. These are running. This is what I'm using a lot of the power. Each one of these uses 20,000 RF a tick, so this is using 160,000 of that 200 that's getting used. So we're using a lot of power of these. So that's one side. The other side is exactly the same with that. And then this was all going to get rebuilt at some point, but I've just not got around to it. I've got these have not been turned on for over a month really. I've got enough leather and beef and stuff. My ender pearl farm there, and then there's a couple of ranches here. One that was getting milk when I needed it for cakes and stuff. One that does wool. One that does ink sacs, and one that does feathers and eggs. And then my little farms here. The only one of them that's running at the minute is the string one. The rest have been turned off again for months. And then pig farm at this end, and carrots there to feed the pigs. And that's the door to the car park there. That also opens. And then this room is my cursed F mob farm. So this is turned off at the minute. It was running on a thing there. I've got it actually turned off because I'm starting to wind down now. But it was just running off a redstone signal there when the drum was full. That's 65 million. Well, it's like 62.5 million buckets worth of mob essence there. That's a lot of mob essence. So this, when it's turned on, mobs spawn, fans push them into the bottom bit, fans push them down there in the grinder there, kills them, gets the loot off them and turns them into mob essence, which is what comes into here, which feeds my block smasher and my targeted spawning, which is just up there, which I'll show you in just a minute. Up here I've got a tree farm. This is quite, I haven't had this long. A couple of days ago I put this back in because I kept running out of wood when I was making weld interaction upgrades. So there's a tree farm there. That's got no trees on it at the minute because it's night time. The roofs are all pretty similar. I've tried to make them look a little bit different, but kind of kept the same theme. So that's all I've really done with this end. My plan was to have like a lot of archways in here and like railway stuff and railcraft stuff going on, but again, it's one of them things I've never got around to. Up here I've got a couple of little spawn rooms for target spawning. These ones have just had villagers sat in it for ages. Because of Britannia, villagers drop emeralds. All mobs that drop stuff shed. So chickens drop the occasional feather. Villagers drop the occasional emerald. So with a lot of villagers in a room like this with a vacuum chest, you can see that it just gradually fills up with emeralds, which is kind of nuts. And then this is the room that I use to actually spawn mobs that I want. So it's got Enderman in there, I think. Yep, Enderman. Because I ran out of ender pearls last week and I'm back up to 30,000 I think now. So I'll just turn that on or off using that. Run by Tesseract. This is not on the main system, this part of the wing from when I rebuilt. So this is just you powering off a Tesseracts and feed stuff into that same ender chest that you see over there. Then I've got a safe here that's got some other safari nets I've actually got some in there. I was going to make a little thing with a skeleton shooting a creeper to get the records for the Ender ritual thing, but I didn't bother. So anyway, yeah, let's turn it off again. So I'll just change, if I needed blaze rods, I'll just change that out for the blaze one, if I needed gas tiers and so on. That's why I was doing that, so that's this side done. So this is the tech side of the building. We have got, if you watched any of the, if you've joined the series lately, you've probably seen all this side anyway, but I'll quickly go over the stuff. On the first floor, we've got material processing. So in here, this is all the Ender, all the AE stuff. This is my thing for refilling my paint applicator. This is for making the processors. Next time I do these, I'll be doing these off level emitters rather than on craft on demand, because these take a long time. Same with this stuff, I'll do this all level emitters rather than craft on demand. But yeah, that's my processors automation that automatically craft process when you need them. This is what automatically crafts the pure Fluix and Certus. This is making matter balls, it's just an extra utilities cobble gen, and that's where I make my charge Certus. That's that room. I've called that Applied Logistics Process and Purifying. Next room we've got cobble gen, stone gen, obsidian gen, and then sand generator, glass generator, and snowball generator is down that side. Water generator here. This is automatic lava buckets. This is automatic water buckets. That reprocesses cyanide into plutonium, which is used in one of the reactors. This here is, this is using, should that have sand in it? Why you no sand? You should have sand in it. Why you got sand in there? Yeah. Interesting. Got plenty of sand, surely. Got no sand. Wow, the clay's used it all, hasn't it? Well, the clay's not kept up. Okay, I should change that level emitter. Back in just a sec. I'm going to cut really quickly. I'm going to go turn that level emitter off on that clay production so I can get some more sand going into that. Okay, then I'll just set that level emitter on that clay production thing over there to 10k, so it stopped doing that. So the sand that gets produced in this now should be coming to here instead, hopefully. This sand with redstone ore gets you redstone blocks and a percentage of rich slag. I should have upgraded this. I have upgraded this. This one is upgraded, yeah, for extra secondary stuff. So it's pretty slow, but it gets rich slag, and then the rich slag is used for processing yellorium and uranium, and yeah, just them two. Don't really need that now. That's why I was just using laser drills. Since I've been quarrying again, I've got a massive amount of yellorium and uranium, so I don't really need to do that. But that's how I was making sure that I was staying yellorium positive, so the laser drills can stay on all the time, which means the turbines can stay on all the time, even though I don't need a lot of power, because they use less. They use less yellorium than the laser drills we're producing because of this. And then block smasher here. This with mob essence lets you break things at fortune 3 level. So this is where diamonds, as you can see there's diamonds going in there at the minute. Diamonds, emeralds, infused ores and stuff go through all that. Next room. This is some stuff that gets processed through pulverizers because you get a better yield. We have got saltpeter ore. Oh, that was just something I was clearing out. I don't actually need that in there anymore. That was something that I had a backlog of. I can actually take that off. So what we've got going into here is on the storage bus just lapis and saltpeter, it turns out. So lapis and saltpeter go for these. You see lapis is going there at the minute, and we've also got the ability to craft glowstone from glowstone blocks because my quarry brings things in silk touch. So the glowstone, no, laser drills bring glowstone blocks in, so that's what that's about. This smart cable will get automatically washed back to Fluix cable using this setup I did in the last episode. So that'll just go into there, and then it gets put back in here as washed cable. So any cable that I take out, no matter what colour it is, I can just chuck it back into the AE system and it gets washed back to plain Fluix, which is quite nice. That's what then that little bit at the end there is that I forgot to mention. So yeah, that's pulverizers on this side. This side is the liquid production. Don't really need all this, but I just wanted like a little store, so I've got a resonant portable tank that has 512 buckets, and then a fluid tank there that has 32 buckets, is it? Yeah, 32 buckets, so I've got 546 buckets of each of them in there, should we need any of that for auto crafting. And there's some recipes got to go into there. Then we've got alloys. This works quite nice. This is a little Steve's Factory Manager setup that's got camouflage cables touching all the machines here, so they get hidden away when I have that turned on, so you can actually see them. And this is my crafting on demand of all the Ender.io alloys and stuff, so I can just request an alloy from the A system and it will do them really quick because we're using 64 things there. So if I wanted vibrant alloy, for example, pardon me, that's pretty slow. I want because I've updated the server, this has gone back to decimal rather than base 8. So if I want 100 of them, you'll see there it's just doing 64 at a time there, so that'll get me 100 of them real nice and quick. So that's nice and fast auto crafting, you don't have to wait for it. This is my same setup for smelting stuff. So dusts, as you see, the quarry backs up because I've got a power issue. These, because the way I'm powering them, do not get enough power. They're always running out, so I'm backlogging, which is a bit of a design fault. I just can't be bothered to fix it anymore. What I really need to do is get rid of the way I'm powering this. I'm using Ender.io conduit into a transfer node there. That, as far as I understand it, should put enough power into these, but really doesn't. So they're always starved of power, which means I get backlogged like that, which is not good. Because the longer I leave the quarry on, the more stuff ends up in the overflow chest and actually not in that chest. But that's where all the dust come into and get processed into ingots. All the ores get processed into dust in this room, which is pretty much the same. So as you can see here at the minute, I've got copper going in there, there's aluminium, there's coal, there's all kind of stuff that's getting processed through these one at a time. And these have all got these hyper rationing pipes on, so they only get one thing at a time in. And then little setup here is just auto crafting, Steve's Factory Manager again, auto crafting coal into coal blocks because my coal was too full. So that's that floor. Let's go up to the next floor. And that's happened again. Great stuff. So elevators, pneumatic craft. They're set up right, I swear they are set up right, but they occasionally explode, and I haven't been able to work out why. Because I don't use this one very often. That was all set up so it shouldn't have overpressured, yet it clearly has and exploded. Back in a second, I'll tidy this up. Well, this is where that's supposed to be sorted out, and it's been a while since I've done this, so I can't quite remember how it's set up. But as far as I understand, that there should be limiting this to 5 bar beyond this regulator tube module. But it's showing that it's got zero pressure, zero redstone on it. But that should be. Looks like it's putting, yeah, look, 4.9 bar. And these things can take more than 4.9 bar. It's maybe just on the limit, maybe just spikes of it. It's the other side that exploded. It was this side, look, and that's got a load missing. I should actually cut that there. And I probably wouldn't bother sorting that out, to be honest. I'll just leave that like that for now. And maybe deal with that one day. If I carry on playing this server, I might actually do a few more episodes on this yet, I don't know. But that's sorting out there. That's running off solar power. Got a load of volume upgrades in, so these carry loads of pressure, so the pressure doesn't dip very much. But we've got, oh, it keeps flicking on off there, doesn't it? Redstone there. This is meant to hold at 17 or 18 psi, and that's meant to hold the pipe at 5 psi, which should keep them safe. So I don't know why they explode. Blowed my mind. Anyway, carry on with the tour. This episode's gonna be long, isn't it? So we was up to that room. I'll actually fly up now and then. I won't blow any more elevators up. Next room is the pneumatic craft stuff. Not touched this for well over a month, so I can't remember much about it. my memory is terrible. The power for this is also solar powered, going through a flux compressor, and this is also regulated using a pressure gauge tube module there that is actually keeping the pressure low in the flux compressor here. So they're slightly different. The other one, it lets the flux compressor go high and regulates the pressure in the tube, whereas this one actually regulates the pressure in the flux compressor. So two different ways of achieving the same thing there. Quite like pneumatic craft, but beyond the lift, beyond the elevators, I've not really used it much, for being honest. The drones and stuff are cool, just not got around to it. And then the crafting there is pretty cool as well. I like that, but it's not used it a great deal since I've got that set up. So that's that room. And then next up we have got a bit of IC tool crafting. I never really got into this much. All I really did was craft some of the advanced panel extenders and information panels. So that was eventually I meant to sort out auto crafting and get all that wired into the network. Not got around to it much, and I've not built anywhere near enough of these panels. I've got loads of little single ones, but I was going to have loads of big ones all over the place. Buildcraft laser crafting. Not really done much with this since I've had it up here, so it's all just boxed. Made a couple of gates, that's about it. And then ignore that, I was just messing around the day, just seeing how many I could fit around this. And that's the maximum you can fit on the floor around one of them QEDs. It's silly, isn't it? And then this is my auto crafting, nice pink auto crafting. So each molecular assembler has got 5 ME interfaces on. I could have 6 on the front, but I like the way it looks like this. Look a bit like HAL's from Space Odyssey. If it was red, I guess it'll look like HAL. So I've got 2 rooms doing the same there, which is 12 molecular assemblers. Next floor, I believe we're getting to the empty floors now. So yeah, this rest of this side is empty. This floor is going to be like mob farms and stuff. Once I was going to have different mob farms in each room here that you could turn on. Well, I was going to have them all level emitter controlled, and then next up was going to be like plant farms and stuff. Or is it animal stuff, cows, pigs, and all stuff like that. And then next up was going to be plant farms. So that was going to be cotton. And the only one I've actually got in here is this big ironberry bush farm there. That's currently, I think, got this turned off. Yeah, it has. That's all got blood magic sigils of green grove on. There's nothing else up here, so that's the tech wing done. So 3 floors of it are actually empty. Never got around to doing. And then the magic wing. So the ground floor again, his laser drills the same. And then Britannia. My Britannia power source for my mana is 8 Serenades of the Nether with 64 flame lilies around it, feeding into these mana distributors, into all these mana pools, which then gets fed to the next room via this dominant spark into this main mana pool, which has got my catalyst thing, converter thing underneath it. That's the green catalyst thing, I can't remember what it's called, conjuration catalyst is it? And that's the alchemic one under that one. If I need that one, this has also got dominant spark as well, so that also pulls power from next door. Runic altar, of course, agglomeration plate for making terra steel, and there's my Everfull lane, getting full from this thing from Foundmake Exploration, and then brewery thing there, and that's all my work in progress Britannia stuff that I've been using, spawning Gaia Spirit stuff there and that. And I was early on using this to generate quartz and glowstone there, but these both get generated from the laser drills now, so I've not had to do that for a long time. Next room is the actual Alfheim portal, again getting run by Serena of the Nether. A bit cheesy these, but they kind of fitted, just have loads of power. And that was when I was first learning Britannia, so in future builds I'll use a bit more of an exotic way of powering rather than just banging lava down everywhere. Automated flowers should keep most of the barrels full, or around 64 stacks. Not attached them to the A network, have I? And then this room that I've already shown you with the living wood and the clay, and then an empty room. That's that floor. Next floor up, we've got Thaumcraft, so empty room, empty room. Little setup I made for making iron ingots using. This was on last episode, so if you're watching any of this, you've seen this. I won't cover that very much. Did this very early in the series, just set up a basic little thing there that I meant to build a golem for, I never got around to, for a Senshare. Again, not played with Thaumcraft in 1.7.10 before this, so I got really carried away and I've made far too much stabilisation there. So that's probably the most stable, one of the most stable infusion setups you'll ever see, because that's a ridiculous amount of crystals. Don't need that many at all. And then in here, we've got one of each of the primal nodes there with a, what do you call it, node in the middle. Just a quite low powered energized node there, which is powering the thing on there for the wand, and the other nodes powering that one recharge pedestal. Not done a great deal of Thaumcraft in this series on purpose. I've been leaving it kind of like the way you can see through all the windows, by the way, to the tab. You can see the reactor there. On different floors you can see the turbines and stuff. So that's Thaumcraft. And if I can learn to fly again. Next floor up is blood magic. Got the reagents here that I made for doing the demon invasion. Little automated thing that kinda works for the automated reagents. It works to an extent. The problem is I've got this stuff that it pulls into the top, and then it detects whether things are in these strong boxes for crafting. The problem occurs when I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things going to that one, and then I've got 2 that go into this one. The problem is, if we're crafting either of these 2, things get stuck, so that never works properly. These all work fine, but like Potentia requires strength and catalyst, and this side creates, oh, that's concentrated. It blocks up anyway. It's nearly very good, but it's not quite, so it's a bit of a shame. That's why I made the reagents for the demon invasion. Summon demons in here. I can make it night time in here if it's raining when I'm recording. It's already night time, so I will click that. Makes things night time, and just a little spare bit of stuff there. There's my lava source. We've automated, what's it called? Thanctus, which makes it so that the Serena never put straight into a tank. That's what's going on there. And then crafting of the bound armor. I've just got this set up so anyone downloads the world can craft some more. And then a ritual of binding and a ritual of unbinding, and that's that floor done. Next up is enchanting, so there's not really a lot on this floor. We come down here, Mistcraft room. Not really use Mistcraft much. Not got no ages or anything. Got a couple of books like the end and stuff, but that's about it. This is going to be an enchanting room. Never really got around to doing much with that. My essence berry farm, which got me a ridiculous amount of essence berries. It's actually been turned off for well over a month, which feeds essence berries into the next room, which feeds them into this thing here, where if we're looking, oops, looking there, you'll see we've got 1500 levels of XP, so that's why it's been turned off for so long. And then just a little enchanting setup here, anvil, enchanting table, auto enchanter from Ender.io there, and printing press and stuff. That's that floor, and then the next floor is going to be witchery, but I'm not bothered doing witchery. So that's the top floor, would have been witchery. And there we go, factory tour done. That floor's empty. And that's my factory. Oops, and there goes my graphics issue that I often get. So I guess that's about a good time to wrap up. Quickly, before we finish, seeing as this is the last episode, we'll go have a quick look at the demon invasion. Nothing's really happened with it. I did the demon invasion on a version that it wasn't quite working properly. The version that's in the pack now will work better than this. Squid everywhere. So the version that I've got here, man, there's squid everywhere. Look at them all. The version I've got here, the actual demon portal thing didn't form properly, but Laputia Island from Britannia. So that's a full size. Oh man, FPS has died. Let's let this load in a bit. They're all demons. We've got a full-size Laputia island there that I dragged up from the bottom of the sea. So that island was once under the water there. Nah, I've killed it, and I expect we'll time out. But that's the demon invasion from Blood Magic. In the version that when 1.0.5 used to do a fresh demon invasion, the actual demon altar there would actually grow into a bigger altar, and this thing would level up. But because I did it on a work in progress version, I wasn't quite ready for that. So mine doesn't really work properly, but it does let you kill the demons which you need to get a tier 6 altar. Right, with no FPS, I'm going to say goodbye to the series there. I hope you've enjoyed the series. I will be doing something new. I've not quite decided what that's going to be just yet. My mouse keeps going weird. It looks kind of cool, that, doesn't it? Floating demon island with a massive amount of demons in the sea just bobbing about. So yeah, I've not actually decided what I'm going to do yet. I'm certainly going to be doing something, but it might be a couple of days away. I hope you enjoyed the series. I hope you enjoyed the build. I've really enjoyed building it. It stressed me out a little bit, if I'm being honest. It's a big build, and it's been a bit of a pain at times to keep motivated to keep building it. But as said, I have learnt a lot from doing it, and I shall be doing big builds again. It is something I have enjoyed. There we go, you can see. Oh, I've not finished, have I? Look at that. Not even gone into the basement. I've not even gone into the basement. Just when you thought you could go, I'm going to have to show you downstairs. So let's quickly run around down here. So down here we've got the... Oh man, that's my mouse is dying while I'm recording. Down here, laser drills. That's the bottom of the mob spawner that you can see there. So there's the grinder and stuff. And then here, of course, is the ME controller. P2P. Sending, it's got a P2P tunnel to each room, so we've got 32 P2P channels coming down this line, and all the base channels are on there with what's in what room on the sides there. So you can see a lot of these are empty, they're actually not doing anything just yet. But there's my little controller setup, and the quantum link chamber there is what's powering the stuff I showed you first up in the tower block area. That's what that's about. Laser drills go right down to bedrock as you'd expect them to, because that's how you get them to work. I'll have to sort my mouse out, I think. I spilled beer over my chair about an hour ago, and I possibly got beer on the bottom of my mouse, which isn't great. These are obtuse platforms as well. If you put alf glass onto obtuse platforms, they go invisible. So that's actually a floor I can walk on. Yeah, it looks invisible, which is pretty cool. Worth knowing about. Down here is my 2 blood magic altars. Never really finished this either. I quarried all this area out early in the series. So this is a 10 by chunk quarried out area down to bedrock. So I do get a bit of mob spawn down here. It's got a little path from the outside. I was meant to be doing all the walls in this smooth black stone, but I've not got around to doing the bottom half. I did all the top half. And then here's my 2 blood magic altars. I built this throne because I did a little video on the funky altar motion altar, which is the second of my altars. I'll show you. So that throne's there. That's just a bit of it was a bit of fun building the throne there. Did a little video where I picked up a shard off here, turned it into a tier 6 blood orb in there. This is my self-sacrifice altar. So if we look underneath the floor here, there we go, you can see underneath there it's got all runes of acceleration, runes of self-sacrifice, and runes of something else around here somewhere. Can't remember what they are. But and that's got a ritual called, I can't remember what that's called either. I forget everything. It's a wonder I know anything. The amount of stuff I forget. We've got a ritual going on there. It's like an upgraded feathered knife. Cry the Eternal Soul, perhaps, I think it might be called. So this is really good. It it charges things up really quick. It actually sends me down to 1 heart though, so I'm not going to bother doing that. So that's my self-sacrifice altar. And then of course there's my funky altar motion sacrifice altar. This is witch powered, so I've got 8 captive witches around the altar here. This is a well of suffering designed to look disguised as like a hood on chains. Chaos Undivided, where I'm a 40k star there of Chaos star, 8-pointed star. Hanging off the roof, FPS, struggling still. So that's what's powering my blood magic, and of course this is a funky altar motion. So if I take the sword out there, this altar will all disappear into the ground. I quite enjoyed making this. It's quite a lot of effort for something that don't work so well in this pack. If you've got Automagy and you've got the remote comparator, this works a lot better, because you can have the remote comparator, so it sends the altar up and down depending on if the altar needs blood put into it. But because of the way this is, I'd have to have a comparator actually next to the thing there, which kind of ruins it a bit. But yeah, with Automagy, that's a bit nicer. Underneath there, these are sky blocks. I was going to do the full floor in sky blocks, but if you ever work with sky blocks, it boxes your head building with them, because you can see the sky through them. Anyway, there's Awakens for the funky locomotion altar thing there. There we go. Now you've seen everything, so I am going to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, I hope you enjoyed the series, and I hope you hang around to see what I do next. So I'm going to keep doing my Resident Rise server, and I think Utopia is done, because it looks like the pack's not going to be updated, and the version of the pack that we went on to was not exactly stable. So I don't think we're going to be carrying on with Utopia. So I'm going to be doing couple of single players. I don't want to do the oil tanker still, so I might actually do that in a single player, but I'll decide over the next couple of days what I want to do for in place of this series, and I shall let you know in the near future. But yeah, I'll be just doing the next couple of days, it'll probably just be Resident Rise. Thank you for watching the series. I hope you like the base. There will be a world download if you want to have a little run around here yourself and have a look at stuff. The only stuff I haven't shown you is didn't really do much in the Nether. They're both books in the Nether. Didn't do much in the end, just killed the dragon. And the Underdark is just where I've got my quarry, and nothing really else in there. So quarry, all this dirt is where I've quarried out, and my current quarry has got a couple of rows of trunks left, and then that'll be done, and I'll probably turn the server off. So thank you very much. I am actually going to wrap up now, even though I've said it about 8 times. I shall see you in the next series. Cheers. Bye.